well, look at this. It's a Bloomberg opinion tweet. Yeah, there is such a thing, on how to deal with inflation. This is for people making under $300,000 a year, like a lot of people, I suspect. Here's the tips. Take the bus. Don't buy in bulk. Try lentils instead of meat. How's that grab you? Congresswoman Cammack is here, actually sitting next to me in New York City. Kat, it's great to see you.
Hey, good to be here. Good to see you.
Look, most people in America make less than $300,000 a year, so these kind of tips, it seems a little condescending to me. What do you say?
Condescending is a nice way of putting it. You know, I think maybe some of the liberal elites, particularly this one who is a professor at a private school here in New York City, maybe she ought to give some advice to her elitist fans and friends, because these are the same people that fly over the states going from coast to coast and ignore completely the flyover states and the people who live there. You know, this is the most out of touch piece I've seen in a long time.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Look, the progressives like Pramila Jayapal, they're blaming oil companies, just big oil. They're responsible for the rise in gas prices. Just watch this for a second. Roll tape, please.
The price at the pump never seems to go down, whatever the situation is. And we understand that there are lots of fluctuations between the time that it comes out and the time that it gets to the pump. But the reality is there's clear profiteering from these oil companies.
OK, blame big oil. I've heard it time and time. I've heard it for all the 50 years that I've been in America. Blame big oil. But my question to you, Kat, is what about your constituents? Are they buying the blame?
Oh my gosh, no. And, you know, the comments from my colleague, Representative Jayapal, that's what a good little socialist is supposed to say. Blame capitalism, blame the companies, but don't blame the administration that's actually single-handedly wrecking our economy and forcing jobs to go under from domestic energy production. Our answer is right underneath our feet. My constituents aren't buying it. Real Americans, working class Americans aren't buying it across America. We see the prices up at the pump. We see the broken supply chain. All of my agricultural producers, they're seeing the input cost through the roof, whether it's the fertilizer, the fuel, you can't get labor, the regulatory red tape. It's killing us. No one's buying this blame game. And if the Democrats were serious about fixing it, they would be talking to the administration about greenlighting these permits and getting people back to work.
But the Democrat Party is run by the Greens.
Yeah.
They've got 100 progressives in the House of Representatives. They're all green. I mean, they've stopped Biden from doing the obvious. The obvious is increase our own production. But he won't do it because of the Greens. Instead, we're going to Iran and Venezuela for oil. I mean, I find that incredible.
Well, and that's the irony of it, because their green agenda is not green. They would rather bring in electric vehicles, which we all know have a bigger carbon footprint than actual domestic production. No one in the world produces energy cleaner, safer, and more efficiently than the United States. Now you've got Biden going hat in hand to Iran and Venezuela, who we know are not good stewards of the environment. So this is more about a political agenda and talking points. They don't care about the environment, because if they did, they would greenlight every single permit that is pending right now, 6 for LNG exports, and they would put our people back to work producing the energy that we have in abundance here at home.
The Republican National Committee is setting up shop at gas stations. I think this is in Texas, actually. Well, maybe it's all over the country. That's it. You report on. First of all, I'll get your comment, Kat. But where is this happening?
It's happening in Arizona. So over the weekend, the Republican National Committee held these 3 voter registration events, and they did so at gas stations because that's exactly and directly where people are feeling the pain. So the Republicans are intensifying their efforts to use high gas prices to their advantage ahead of the midterms in November. So if you're filling up today, $4.25 nationally, but it's going up from there because, well, we still get Russian oil. The last shipments are still being sent here.
Right.
So when we're out of that Russian oil and we don't have enough here at home, we're going to pay more.
Kat, that's a brilliant idea. If you're a Republican, that really flies, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. And, you know, anyone who is a working class American, you are filling up your own gas tank. You talk about the political elites who haven't filled up their own gas tank in decades. No, they drive by in the safety of their armored vehicles. You know, for me and my family and my constituents, we're there feeling the pain. And so registering people to vote, we're getting independents, we're getting Democrats. Heck, we're getting people who have never voted in their life to come to the Republican Party because we are the party of the working class. class.
And that's just the direct pain. What about the indirect pain? All the companies that have to ship their items and pay those fuel costs, and also the oil that goes into their items.
Exactly.
Well, I just last time I was in Florida, I saw those signs on gas pumps. I did that, and it's a picture of Joe Biden. I did that. So, but thanks for being with us
It's
today.
effective.
Great to see you in New York.
Thank you.
We'll see you again soon.
We'll see you.
All right. A new poll shows just how much the rise in gas prices is affecting people's finances. Break it down, Lauren, please.
So 38% of those asked say high gas prices impact them, quote, a great deal. And here's the breakdown by party. So 61% of Republicans, 32% of independents. That's key because they can be swayed either way because of these high prices. And 21% of Democrats say gas prices are causing them a great deal of financial hardship. And then you have the governors in Maryland and Georgia immediately suspending the state's gas taxes because they realize this is a huge problem for their constituents and Americans overall.
I don't get it.
What?
Democrats, only 21% of Democrats say the recent increases are causing them serious financial pain. I thought Democrats were working people, and it's working people who are surely paying the price. Obviously, it's not working people who are Democrats. Wealthy people are Democrats. Am I right? I mean, that's the way around it is.
She's nodding
surely.
her head, so I will let the Congresswoman answer that
That's
question.
the great transition in American
Because
politics.
you're sitting there, they're so eager.
But when I first came to America, I mean, this is 50 years ago, Republicans were country club people. They were rich. Democrats were union people, working people. They were the poor.
No.
That's completely reversed these days.
Yeah, the Democrats are the party of Wall Street and the political elites. There is a total double standard in this country now between the two. Like I said, we Republicans, conservatives, we are the party of the working class. You were touching on the gas prices. If you are on a fixed income, if you are a senior, your COLA increase, your cost of a living adjustment increase, just got wiped out by 8% inflation. And then you look at the price of food. They want us to buy lentils instead of meat, according to this liberal, right? Fertilizer's 700% up. How are we going to produce that?
You should come to New York more often, sit on that set there, and get it all off your chest.
I'm
Do you know what I
sorry.
mean?
Woof, it's like a therapy
Cammack.
session.
Thank you very much indeed. Good